Joe, since you have over 20 years of experience building elite executive roundtables and focus entirely on filling rooms with buyers, not bodies, I want to keep this ultra tailored to your lane. Here are the two prompts that I'd love for you to answer. One, you've run more executive dinners that you can count, and you have a sharp take on why most of them completely fail. The sponsor ruins the room before the appetizers even arrive by treating a blazer and cocktail dinner like an aggressive transactional sales pitch. You argue that dinner is not the sale, it's a trust transfer that earns you permission to sell later. For B2B field leaders, how do you operationalize a zero pitch environment that converts enterprise accounts without killing the room?
It's all about their pain. People ask me all the time, how do you get these people in the room? Clients ask me, like, what makes you so special? It's not what makes me so special. It's what makes your pain so special. So clients sometimes, they're like, I can't believe I just paid this much for you to use a 70-word note to my prospects. You don't even mention my company. Well, nobody's there for your company. I don't want them there for the brand. I don't want them there for the venue. That's why I use places like Capital Grill and Morton's, because no one has ever said, I can't wait to go to Capital Grill. I'm lying, I'm dying. And if they did, I don't want them there. They're there because the pain makes them piss the bed at 4 a.m. It starts cold sweats. We were talking about cortisone and cortisol. It's a cortisone shot to the face when this doesn't link and that doesn't work. So that's what I drive them there with. So they come for a conversation. And at that conversation, here are things you'll never see. A slide, a deck, a case study, curated content, none of that nonsense.
Eye roll.
Yeah, it is a conversation amongst peers, led by a subject matter expert. And people ask me all the time, what should they bring to the conversation? 6 questions. Six questions. Yeah, that's it, questions. Let's look at those 6 questions. Do they spur the conversation that you want them to? Well, it's different for company to company. It's all about the pain that their prospects are experiencing. So those prospects come for that conversation and they stay for the same. So if you're in the event business, nothing is easy about events. And anybody who tells you is blowing smoke up your ass. That being said, getting them in the door is far easier than keeping them there. Because you have sellers in the room, or they're introduced to a seller at that event, and that seller looks at it like, okay, these are my prospects. That guy's paying for my Rolex. That guy's going to fund my Porsche. And they take those follow-up conversations under that guise. Guys are not here to buy. They're here to have a conversation with your SME. So what makes great events work is when the follow-up is, I can't believe I'm doing this, giving away my IP. What makes great events work is when the follow-up is managed by the SME. So Brian comes to a dinner to hear me talk. And we have a conversation. We ask questions. You flip into my calendar a week later. But I'm not there. Some dipshitted seller is there. Hey, let me walk you through the latest and greatest. Let me show you this. Let me show you that. The gig is up. Hey, man, I didn't want to be sold when I walked into it. I don't want to be sold now.
I want to talk to Joe.
Yeah, where's Joe? So Joe holds that conversation. He brings the dipshit seller with them and starts that bridge from you had a conversation with Joe to let's continue talking with Timmy. So Timmy owns the tail end of that conversation. So in events that work, the reason I can tell my clients, hey, 70% of your prospects are going to turn into pipeline, it's because that conversation was led by Joe. He transitions it to Timmy, and the conversation ends with one of 2 things happening. Timing is off, budgets aren't here, we're in a contract, fiscal ends in 6 months. Great. How do you want to be nurtured till that date? What do you need to see from us to keep the kettle warm enough for the tea to still be good? Or I'm going to put something on the calendar 3 weeks from now. You said you're going to bring in this guy. We're going to bring in that guy. Click, call ends, stage 2 opportunity. When sellers come in with the wrong expectations or try too hard or just expect the universe to do the work for them, that's how the conversation turns into great event, great people. We didn't get any pipeline from it.
Yep.
And I have these debrief calls every day. Because
it's totally transactional, Joe. That's what you're saying. You just gave told it can be a transaction, but it needs to be a bridge.
It
You
needs
are
to
the
be a
bridge.
There needs to be alignment. Everybody needs to know their role here. So there are organizations, because I do about 800 of these events a year. I can't tell you how many sellers, hey, did you follow up? No. Hey, did you follow the best practices we told you pre-event to make sure that they would be there for that call? No. Did you talk to anybody there? No. Okay. And what pisses me off is that when the seller screws the pooch like that, it's not the seller losing her job or his job, it's the marketer. Oh, we
Yeah.
raised 50 grand on this glorified happy hour.
Yeah, exactly. People are throwing away. Yeah. It turns into
And that's why people don't want to do these things. And they rely on their bullshit AI prompted cadences. And what they don't realize now is it's an even playing field for everybody. Everybody's got AI. Everybody's got a tech stack. It's such an even playing field because as a student of sales, I will read every pitch you send me. And I will answer every phone call except the one that rang a few minutes ago. I don't think anybody wants to see me rip a cold caller up on a podcast, although we should try that sometime.
do you actually do that?
Every call, I pick up every call.
You say like, all right, what is it? Tell me. And then you say like, all right, man, let me give you a little bit of advice.
Some of them are good. Some I'll coach through. Some are cocky. Some have become mentees of mine. If somebody comes to me correct, I will mentor them. And I will do it for free. Because I was mentored for free by total strangers that saw me acting like a dipshit 30 years ago. Hey, man, you can't say that, can't do this, got to do that, got to do this. People laugh when I say it's part of my penance as a recovering Catholic. Like, I got no choice, I got to do this.
You are a self-loathing Catholic. Me too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Brian understands. The only people that understand are other Catholics and Jewish people.
Correct.
We all
Correct.
have,
That's
like,
the most New York thing you could have said.
Yeah, New York Jewish people. And they're like, we all get it because we all grew up in the same blocks in Canarsie.
That's
I
right.
either had Sicilians on my block or Orthodox Jews. So I'll help anybody. But what I do recognize, because, the guy at company A doesn't realize the guys at company B, C, and D are all asking the same tool to produce the same thing. They can't look over their shoulder to see what everybody else is using. So they all have the same template. It's 3 steps in a beat. When this happens, this happens, this happens. When you see this, and then let's talk, or compare notes, or let's chat. Can I show you this? And it's all trash. My biggest pet peeve are the notes where, hey man, I've done some research on your company and exposed a few things. Want to see it?
Exposed.
A few things. I've uncovered some problems. Would you like to see it? Well, how about, hey man, I did some research on your organization, exposed some problems, here they are. What do you think?
Here they are.
Here they
Offer
are.
them.
Show me the research. Well, I got to do.
Show it to me. If it's interesting enough, if I brought enough value to the conversation, you're going to talk to me further. You're going to either we email back and forth or you meet and you say, all right, well, this is how we can kind of develop. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or the seller in me, like I said, that scorned Catholic wants to help that person improve. So depending when you send me a note during the day will depend on how open and coaching I am.
Joe, you host virtual chocolate tastings for B2B marketers, essentially acting as a Willy Wonka for the field scene. Aside from shipping the chocolate directly to their doors, what is your framework for creating structured, closed-door virtual environments where peers actually open up? And how do you teach teams that 400 badge scans is not an actual revenue strategy?
So that the events I host for marketers every month are great networking opportunities, great opportunities for learn for everybody, both myself and my attendees. In all transparency, they are also examples of formats that I would build for these marketing teams. Now, these are expensive investments. A lot of people in this industry couldn't spell it if you handed them the I and hinted at the T. Yeah, I can do this, I can build that, I can make this happen, and then they fall flat.
You got to show them.
So here, come and see for yourself. You get to see the registration, from the questions we ask in a survey that gives us the research on your issues, to how you receive the chocolates, to showing up. Nobody pitches you. I give about 5 seconds of enjoy the chocolates. You're all going to find that I put time on your calendar so that we can continue the conversation next week. I'm not going to pitch you then either. but we can use it to say something you wanted to learn more about or a question you had. So marketers can see from soup to nuts what I would build for them. And that's how you get out of bad scant theater. It's ensuring every attendee is a 100 million trillion % match to your ICP. We take the time to understand your target account list. We take the time to ensure we can walk in your prospect's shoes, because then the next thing we need to focus on is, why would they come? Why is Brian getting in his car, driving in an hour and a half to what's at best a high-end mediocre steakhouse to chat with 10 total strangers?
It could be because I want to sell or network, or because I actually have a problem that I think you might have an answer for.
Try to get the sell part out of it, because most of our clients are looking for CISOs, tech nerds, system engineers, product specialists. These guys are coming with pencil protectors, and they're not coming with pitches. They stay for the conversation, and then owning that follow-up process is what separates pros from pretenders. Knowing the same day that we're talking about target account lists and ICP and content that resonates, we're laying the groundwork for what post-event looks like. Who's going to own this? Who's going to take care of that? Here's what the subject matter expert needs to do. Here's what the seller needs to do. This is not a happy hour. This is your opportunity to earn the right to pitch them, not to pitch them. If you want to learn anything, I want you to learn whether they preferred the brulee or the souffle.
At Morton's, what is it?
I don't know, but they're all dog shit.
But I love the fact that it's a mediocre place. It's not the hottest place in town.
It's not garbage. These are luxury.
Of course.
They're high-end. Listen, I've had it. Clients are like, well, we want to do something as Jean-Georges. Can we get Chef Daniel to come out? Yeah, of course we can. And we're going to give all of your prospects the time of their life. And then when they're all standing outside waiting for their cab, I'm going to ask them to name your company. And they won't be able to pick you out of a lineup.
Because they went for Jean-Georges.
They went for Jean-Georges. I want them coming for the pain. And your subject matter expert is going to come with questions that stick a thorn into that pain.
Yeah.
Oh, knife.
I'm sticking my finger in it.
I'm going to dip my finger in salt, stick it right in the hole. Enjoy yourself. So a lot of sellers walk out of this like, oh my God, I can't believe I just heard that. I can't believe they said that in front of me. They didn't say it in front of you. That's why I told you to keep your mouth shut. They said it in front of their peers. And because you made sure that those old fashions kept getting refilled, they said things they would never say in front of you.
There we go.
How are you going to take that knowledge to the next conversation? Hey, at dinner, I heard you say this. Hey, you mentioned this to that guy. You sounded like you wanted to ask another question here. What would it have been? And because that SME is leading the conversation, the defenses of the prospect are completely down.
You got to be listening to everything in that room to really come correct and come with relevancy. Like,
yes.
Joe, I heard you talk to Bri and mention this thing. I didn't make it up.
So that's why I tell sellers, like, even sitting in the room where you're going to sit is strategic. Oh, you're taking 4 guys, he's taking 4 guys. Make sure you sit amongst your 4 guys. Because when you got 12, 15 people in a room, there's going to be sidebars. People are going to start talking amongst themselves.
Yeah.
That's why I tell them, tape the lips shut, get some Q-tips for the ears, and pay attention to everything. If you want to, corral that sidebar, lead that conversation, because you're going to be talking to them in a week. And when you follow our best practices, you can get that meeting scheduled before dessert is served. That's your goal. If you want to come in and close anything, close them for the next step. Hey, subject matter expert would love to, oh my God, did you just say what I thought you said?
You got to talk to Joe. You got to talk to Joe.
Yeah. Next week, he would love to hear that. Considering what he's building, considering how he solves this pain in the market, he needs to hear that. Now, does that guy feel like he's being sold to? Or does that guy feel like he's part of a situation now? Does he feel like he's talking to credible, learned individuals that actually care what he has to say? There's a big difference between that guy and when this happens, and this happens. Care to compare notes? Can I put 20 minutes on your calendar? Do you want to read a case study that's 3 sentences longer than the first 5 books of the Bible?
Let me follow up with this one, the final thing before I let you go. You got to have the coverage. You can't have an event where you've got 100 people in it and Joe's the only one in there. You can't hear everyone, right? Is it have smaller events, But what if you don't have huge events where you don't have coverage, or if you have big events, have enough people, bodies out there, SMEs out there that are paying attention to the conversations? You know what I mean? Be like, all right.
It depends on what the end game is. Are you looking for quality? You looking for quantity? Not that quantity is a bad thing. It's just the more people, the less consideration. You get 10 guys in a room, the awareness to consideration journey is an express train on the way to its next stop. But now a larger event is an awareness play. So treat it as such. These people are here to learn. There's going to be panels. Make them part of the conversation. People always ask, how come you guys are asking questions of our audience? How come there's no slides and there's no decks? There's 60 people in the room. How can you have a conversation with 60 people? How? Hold my beer. Let me show you.
Everyone's doing the slides.
Doing the slides. If you haven't figured out your prospect is not engaged with that right now, your successor will. Because you will be out of a job and you will ping me and ask me if I can help you find work. And then you'll complain when all you do is click easy apply and nobody gets back to you. There are pros in this business and there are pretenders. The pros realize I'm walking into a room with 5,000 people. I'm hoping to scratch the tip of the iceberg. I'm walking into a room with 10. I'm hoping that in 2 weeks, I have found the bottom of the iceberg, I have drilled a hole, and I have found me some gold. Because when you do it right, like I said earlier, that conversation with the SME, he's bringing in that seller. It ends in one of two ways. Hey, Joe, would love to work with you guys, but I'm currently under contract for 8 months, and we can't discuss this until our next OKBAR GPQAT.
Which is fine. Let me know how to nurture you. Yep.
Great then, Brian. What do you need to see from me between now and that date to keep the bed warm?
To keep the kettle on, to
Yeah,
keep
like I
the
said,
kettle warm.
keep
Yeah.
the kettle going. Well, I need to see this. I'd love to see that. Okay. Hey, we're hosting some more dinners. Want to attend another one? Because it's going to be the same subject, but no two conversations are exactly the same.
No, they're not exactly the same, and it keeps you top of mind.
And now, or I like this. I need to bring in Bill. I'm going to grab my guy, John.
Right.
In the interim, can you send me these things prior to that call? So now I'm walking out with either a sales qualified opportunity or a sales qualified lead. Not 20% of the time, not 15% of the time, every time. Because it all goes back to the beginning. Is everybody here a 100 million trillion % match to my ICP? Yes. Are they part of the buying committees at my companies? Yes. Do I have a firm understanding of what makes them piss the bed at 4 a.m.? Yes. Did I come correct? Yes.